What is up, everybody? We are back for another episode of Palm City Chucks. We missed you all last week. I promise, we really did. Sometimes, as you may know, life does get in the way. We got some big events going on. I've got volleyball playoffs, obviously much bigger than Chris over here purchasing a house that's lowly on the totem pole. Let's be honest here. Yeah, had to watch the Red Sox get eliminated too, so I really loved that. But we are extremely happy to be back with you again this week talking football. We're going to go with our normally scheduled program here. We're not going to drag you through talking old news. That's not fair to anybody. So we're just going to talk about what happened in week 5 this past weekend and predict week 6 as per usual. So let's go ahead and dive right in with our Thursday night game. We had the Rams traveling to San Francisco to take on the 49ers. And a bit of a surprise to both Chris and myself, the Niners pulled this one out. Chris, what'd you think?
I was disgusted, man. I was really bummed. But before I get into that, I'm going to toot my own horn and kind of just bring it back up to you too, which I don't think you necessarily disagreed. But Mac Jones is not far off from Brock Purdy.
Mac Jones is not far
and
off from
I
Brock Purdy.
I feel like he is continuing to prove this. I mean, he might even be better. We'll see. Brock is definitely going to get put back into that starting role. I'd be very surprised if they just kept rolling with Mac, but especially since he got destroyed this game against the Rams. He was really battling through some stuff, but yeah, Niners win this one 26-23. They got a crazy good start. It went up 14-0 in a blink of an eye. Rams were in a hole. Rams crawled back, make it close. Then they, get a touchdown, extra point to take the lead, and no good. Or I think that was the one that was blocked. It may have been a field goal, but this Rams kicker had another field goal get blocked. He's up to like 4 on the year or something. So that's like a major problem. I don't know what trajectory he's kicking these balls at, but it's not working for them. So left points on the board there, then going down to win the game late, and Kyron Williams fumbles at the 1 yard line. And Rams held on to all their timeouts. Niners have it. Niners just trying to, get some breathing room. They know they're going to be punting, so they're just, running up the gut. And they punt back to the Rams. Rams end up settling for 3, force an OT. And then, yeah, from there, the Niners take it. But yeah, it's frustrating. I mean, the Rams had this game right there, and they just got in their own way, whether it was fumbles, missed kicks, and really pooched it. But that being said, I don't want to take any credit away from the Niners. What they did was pretty impressive to me, especially considering the injuries they've dealt with. And this Rams team, I know we kind of view them differently, but I think they're pretty dang good. So that's definitely a great win for the Niners.
Yeah, I'm a little upset at myself for not sticking to my guns of preseason predictions in this one, especially for it being the 49ers home game against the Rams. I really should have stuck with my gut there, but I did go Rams because they are hot and playing well right now. That's very
Yeah.
true. To your point,
Well, Rams, were they away? The Rams?
I think so. I thought so. They might,
I
maybe
thought they
not.
were home. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? Anyway,
Either
either
way,
way,
stick
wish
to
I
your
stuck to my
guns.
guns and went 49ers. Exactly. Kyron Williams did have this game locked up, though, and then fumbled away the legacy game because he also already had 2 touchdowns on the game. That would have been touchdown number 3 for him.
Yeah,
And it's that poked out right there at the end. So
yeah.
very unfortunate.
It's an issue he has. I mean, we saw it last year too, like specifically against the Eagles in crucial moments. The guy coughs it up. I mean, he's a hell of a player. I think he's one of the best backs in the league. But yeah, you can't be doing that.
Nah. And to your point about Brock Purdy and Mac Jones, they have to bring Brock Purdy back. And they just gave this man $265 million.
Yeah,
So there is no way he doesn't slot back into that starting role unless Mac Jones becomes literally Tom Brady. But I think, to add a little bit, I think Mac Jones is another example of kind of a Daniel Jones almost. Ended up in a bad situation at a bad time when he got brought to the Patriots, and I don't think he was in a very good situation to flourish. And I think Mac Jones could be a pretty serviceable quarterback here at the NFL level, and I think it's a little unfortunate that he got signed to a 2-year contract to the 49ers because he certainly is not going to take over Brock's spot unless Brock looks awful for a
Right.
long period of time. So I'm kind of hoping for him he gets an opportunity
Yeah.
elsewhere.
I mean, he kind of showed out, so maybe they move him. Maybe a team, offers something they can't refuse. But yeah, I agree. I mean, it's got to go back to Purdy. But yeah, Mac Jones probably a starting caliber quarterback in this league, and even at that, maybe not at the lowest end. And even last year looked good with the Jags. I know I'd be dragging frickin' Lawrence across the dirt because he doesn't feed my boy Brian Thomas Jr., but Mac Jones did. And yeah, I don't know. He definitely has a place in this league. So I agree. I hope he gets a chance to start somewhere because yeah, sitting behind that contract, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. You can't pay the man $265 million and sit him just because your backup's getting hot. If Brock Purdy struggles for an extended period of time, that is a different story. But barring that, just injury, they're not going to sit Brock once he gets back healthy. It's just not going to happen. But, so we got one NFC matchup down there. Let's move on to the London game. Vikings playing in London for the second week in a row, and they pull it out against the Browns. Another one that you and I both got wrong. Week
Yeah,
5
it's going to be a theme.
was a very rough week for both Chris and myself. Just a little preview. I was 6 of 14 and Chris 5 of 14 in week 5. It was a brutal, not a lot of good intuition from the Palm City Chucks pod this past weekend. I will tell you that. But yeah, Vikings pulled this one out. Probably should have had this one locked up earlier. I don't know if you've seen this, but on Will Reichard's field goal that missed pretty bad to the right, it appeared that on the way in, it hit an object and veered very hard right after hitting that object, and the ref
Oh,
missed
I
it.
did not see that.
It should have been a re-kick, but that's so Vikings probably should have had this
Well, they
wrapped.
just had a wire or what?
Yeah, I think so. I think hit a wire and
Yeah.
turned hard right. Because I will say,
Sheesh.
Will Reichard's really impressed me as a kicker since he's come into this league. I really believe in him to become one of the top kickers throughout his career. So when he missed that badly, I was a little bit surprised. So seeing that come out also didn't surprise me. But we had Dylan Gabriel's debut game as a starter, and honestly, he didn't look terrible. He really didn't. He didn't do anything special. I think it was kind of a Jackson Dart-esque debut, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Did
play it
well.
safe.
Didn't lose the game for the Browns, that's for certain. He didn't go and win it. Very similar to what I would have said about Jackson Dart's debut, and I think it was very similar for Dylan Gabriel. One thing while we're on the Browns, we'll talk about the game a little bit more specifically in a bit, but while we're on the Browns talking about the quarterbacks, did you see Shadur's interviews when being asked about remaining quarterback 3, which is no longer the case now that Joe Flacco has been traded to the Bengals? I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit more later, but what is Shadur doing? He is not helping himself with the way he's conducting himself with the media, and him and his dad both keep making excuses and all that good stuff. But dude, you're not helping yourself. You want an opportunity to be QB1. The 31 other teams in the league are going to look at that shit and be like, he is not a team player. I do not want
Yeah.
him on my team.
He's a mime.
Yeah, like I don't understand what his thought process is, honestly.
Yeah. Well, all that being said, he did move up a spot. He's now QB2.
He is now QB2. Joe Flacco to
Yeah.
the
But yeah,
Bengals.
for the people at home, if you didn't see it, what basically went down was during this interview, he like mimed his answers to the reporter. He was just moving his lips, not producing noise, and just wasn't answering. Like it was like a 5-year-old was getting interviewed about football. Like I don't know what else to say. But yeah, it was really bad. And you're right. Every other team in the league is seeing that and just honestly taking a breath and just being like, glad we didn't pull the trigger on this guy.
To be honest, I'm not a huge Dylan Gabriel guy, but I almost want Dylan Gabriel to succeed just so that Shadur does not get a chance to start. The way he has conducted himself draft process to now, I do not want to see this man start in the league. I don't think that he deserves it with how he's conducted himself as a human being,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Honestly, Gabriel has to be the freaking best rookie quarterback ever. If not, we're going to see him.
I know.
Like this Flacco move just totally what the Browns are going to do is they're going to see if they have their future on their depth chart, and they'll probably, honestly, it'll probably be a fairly equal split in games when the season's all said and done. And odds are both of them probably won't impress enough, and they might be drafting one next year in the first round. But yeah, I mean, we're going to see him unless Gabriel literally is amazing, and the defense is solid. So if he is, they're going to win games, and then obviously they have to keep rolling with Gabriel. But unless that happens, we're going to see Shador.
I know. That's why I said I'm kind of rooting for Dylan Gabriel now. Honestly,
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
don't want to see Shadur on the field. That there's just no need for that. He doesn't deserve to be rewarded for how he's acted, in my opinion. But
yeah.
but back to the game a little bit. I thought the Browns had this one,
They did, man.
coming down to the wire. I
Know these,
really
bro.
did.
They got in their own way a lot on this one. I mean, we saw a Judkins run that ripped my heart out. It was like a 50-60 yard run called back for two different holdings on the play. And I mean, you could argue one of them had an impact on the play, but even then it was like, I don't know, he's probably getting the edge anyway. But regardless, can't be doing that, Browns. Come on. I'm a little curious that we both picked the Browns here. Um, the rookie quarterback. We know rookie quarterbacks in their first career starts typically lose. We saw McCarthy pull it off this year. Caleb Williams did last year. Besides that, none have done it in a substantial period of time. But we
Jackson
both go
Dart.
Browns here. Yeah, that's yeah. But both go Browns here. I'm curious if the Vikings staying overseas had anything to do with that pick for you, because that was the main reason I went Browns here. I thought that was a recipe for disaster, just being away from the family that long, being away from normalcy. And I thought that's why the Browns are going to win this game. I got into it with a few coworkers of mine, and they thought the opposite. They're like, hey, they're acclimated. They're used to it. Like it's going to help them more so than the Browns. But curious of your thoughts there.
I can see both sides. I wouldn't say that contributed a lot to my pick. I think my pick was more based on, as you mentioned earlier, I really like the Browns defense and what they've got going on there. And the Vikings offensive line is very hurt. So I
Yeah. Yes.
expected the Cleveland Browns defensive line to wreak havoc on Carson Wentz. And that's not necessarily what happened. I thought Myles Garrett would have a bigger game than he did. I just thought they would do an overall better job on defense. It's not like they did terrible. Allowed 21 points, late touchdown coming in to put them ahead. So it wasn't necessarily a bad game either, but I thought they were just going to be more disruptive than they were. So I think it was more so banged up Vikings line and a really good Browns defense. But I can see both arguments there. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it's split between the team of like some of the Viking players felt acclimated, other Vikings players were homesick for the Browns. Some of them excited to get away, play somewhere new, some of them really not looking forward to traveling.
Yeah. Very fair. And yeah, the defense definitely played a role for me too. And yeah, great point about the Vikings line on offense. It is certainly banged up, and that is a problem.
Oh, yes, and I'm hoping long term it comes back to bite them in the ass. Tired of seeing them
Yeah.
win, honestly.
Yeah.
They're becoming. I'm liking them less and less every day, to be honest.
Yeah. Wow. As a true Lions fan should. It should
Yes.
never trend the other way. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
I know, but the Vikings and the Bears were kind of just like, meh, yeah, obviously I don't like you because you're other NFC North teams, but it's always fuck the Packers, right? That's, F the
Yeah,
team.
I get
That's
it.
what it is.
Yeah, I can totally relate to that. Being
Yeah.
an Eagles fan.
Yeah, I guess Giants Commanders probably similar situation, but really hate the
Yeah,
Cowboys. Yeah.
right.
Cowgirls, as you might say in this situation specifically. But
Yeah, really anything but their true name. It's kind of like a Beetlejuice thing going on there. You can't really say it too many times.
Cowboys, Cowboys, Cowboys. Oh
Hey!
no!
Whoa!
Yeah, exactly. Taking risks out here. But let's move
Yeah.
on to another game. Raiders taking on the Indianapolis Colts. Colts win this one 40-6. I mean, Colts are firing on all cylinders, and the Raiders are struggling. Geno Smith continues to struggle. Pete Carroll cannot figure it out. I know you're wrong. The Raiders are dealing with a bit of injury issues themselves. Their top two tight ends, their two first-round tight ends from the past 3 years, Brock Bowers and Marcelo Meyer, both out, left to their third string tight end as the starter. And for them, that's very big because Brock Bowers is such a difference maker
Yeah.
for them. And their
Oh yeah.
receiver spot isn't exactly the most stacked in the NFL, some might say,
Yeah.
with Jacoby Myers and Trey Tucker leading that room. But
Yeah. Definitely.
I don't know what to think here. I thought with Pete Carroll at the helm, they were going to be at least trending in the right direction. And it seems like they are just trending in the opposite direction. It seems they're getting worse. I thought Geno maybe needed a little time to acclimate. I mean, is he going to the casino too much? Hitting the strip club a little too much? Is this a James Harden situation? I don't know. I mean, honestly, what's going on with the Raiders?
Yeah. I certainly hope not. Not my boy Gino. Don't do them like that. But yeah, they're certainly not what I expected either. And you said it perfect. I really thought they would trend upward with Pete Carroll and Gino. I mean, that's a solid quarterback, and that's beginning to get tough to say based on his performances this year. But I think there's something to be said about the Colts too. They're phenomenal. Another outstanding game from Taylor. I mean, Jonathan Taylor's friggin' he looks amazing, dude. This is looking like his, offensive player of the year type season he had a few years ago, if not better. I mean, he probably gets my vote if the season were to end today. What he's doing for them is just phenomenal. And Danny Dimes, I mean, you mentioned it with Gabriel and the Browns, like just don't lose the game. And that's what Danny Dimes is doing really well. He's playing it safe, he's staying within himself. And yeah, it's he's reaping the benefits, and that's dubs because the Colts are rolling in them right now, which again, gotta love NFL, man. I mean, I never would have thought the Colts would be what they are right now.
AFC South in general looking better than I
But yeah,
expected. They're still
yeah,
not great as a division overall, but they are much better
yeah,
than I expected. They might have
yeah.
two teams finish over 500, and I thought
I
one
know.
maximum with probably 9 wins. So
Yeah. Well, and it wasn't one of the two teams that are going to do it either.
absolutely not.
Like
Yeah.
it's crazy. Yeah. But yeah, Jags looking really good, Colts looking really good, Texans, most of us thought they would be the one, and yeah, they're not even cutting it, but maybe they turn it around and this AFC South has 3 teams. I don't know.
It would
Crazy.
be crazy work, but it's possible. I mean, there's a lot of craziness in the AFC so far this year. I think the
Oh yeah,
NFC's
it's
kind of
wacky.
been mostly chalk for the most part, but the AFC is crazy. A lot of things and records I would not have expected through 5 weeks of the NFL season. Plenty of time to turn it around, but crazy stuff. But let's move on to the Giants taking on the New Orleans Saints. This is one that I got correct and you did not. So that's
Yeah.
exciting. I'm going to
Yeah,
take
what the
that
hell,
dub.
man? I thought we were in agreement that the Saints want to lose.
I I've just seen them play too many close games so far this
Yeah.
year to not believe that Spencer Rattler, Kellen Moore, someone is going against the grain here and deciding that they
Yeah.
do want to win games. I don't know which one it is, maybe both.
Yeah. And another important factor too, in me picking the Giants, that's a win streak for the Giants, which you should know is not going to happen. So I'm hitting myself for that one. I mean, picking an NFC East rival and they don't even freaking pull it off. I feel like a terrible Eagles fan. I'm sorry, birds.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But Jackson Dart looked a little bit more like a rookie in this game. I mean, that's a really weak Saints defense there. It's like just over 50% completion. He does get the 2 touchdowns, which is great, but also 2 interceptions to go along with that. It wasn't necessarily a horrid game, but it wasn't great from him either. Scatabo continues to look pretty decent leading that backfield. I
Yeah.
still maintain my position that I do not think he is a long-term NFL running back. Maybe this first year because they don't know what to expect. He's all right. But I think kind of similar to rookie quarterbacks a lot, Jaden Daniels type of situation coming into second year. Once they get a little bit more tape on Cam Scatabo, the physical traits just are not not there. The pure athleticism needed to truly thrive as an NFL back, especially with that 40 he runs. Long term, I just don't see it. But I got to give him credit. He's looked pretty good so far this year. So I will give him that.
Yeah. I mean, he goes berserker mode. Like he's literally Wolverine out there, just smashing into people and just plays angry. It is really fun to watch, but I agree the shelf life isn't going to be great here. I don't know if it'll be as soon as next year, but I don't give him 3 successful years in the NFL. Like it's going to die off, and you nailed it on the head. It comes down to the physical traits. He's not fast enough. He's not necessarily strong enough. He's great. He's a low center of gravity, and he's just a nasty, mean MFer, and it's working for him. But I don't think it's a recipe for success in the long run.
And one other thing before we move on, a question I want to ask you here. Are the Saints officially starting the transition away from Alvin Kamara? Kendra Miller has been
Yeah.
getting the ball a lot more the past 2 weeks. Is this the official passing of the torch?
Yes, but I don't think it's because they think he's washed or anything. I think they want to move him. I think they want to move some of this old talent on the Saints team. I mean, clearly they're years away with this roster. It's time to kind of flush it, take what you can get. They can get a decent return for Kamara, even given his age. I mean, he's a relatively healthy player his whole career, and he does a lot in the passing game and not, a ridiculous amount in the rushing game. I could see him going to a team, be a third down back specialist, and you can mix in some runs too. He's a fine runner, but I think he just has like unlimited value in a better situation. So I think that's what we're seeing there. It's just kind of protect him from injury so his value doesn't go to nothing.
Do you have a landing spot you think that would be good for him?
Yeah, there's a bunch that would be good for him. Um, I think the Chargers would be good. I think the Chiefs would be good. I I guess any AFC West team. I mean, even the Broncos, it would work, man. And the Raiders. I mean, they don't really have a two with Jonty. It's like he fits anywhere because he's immediately the best third down running back in the entire football league. So I think he goes to a contender. Um, I would love to see him as the Chargers. I mean, we saw Hampton get injured. Najee's already injured. Like he would get run work there too, and actually be used as a 4 down back rather than just a 3 down. But I would like to see him go there. But I hope he does move because I want to see him, have impact again because he's a hell of a player, but he's not enough to get this garbage team over the hump.
I did have the Chargers in mind when I asked that question. That is who I think would be the best fit for him, with both Hampton
Yeah.
going down for at least the next 4. Najee's out the entire year with the Achilles tear. So
Yeah, it
at
just makes
worst,
sense.
he's gets to relieve Omari and Hampton at points, who's a rookie back and would be good. Raiders as well, but I think that just puts Kamara in a similar situation of going to a bad team. Are the Raiders really in a buy now mode? Would they make the
Yeah, yeah.
trade? Probably not.
Absolutely not. I just was running with the AFC West. I'm like, it actually makes sense for all of it. But then, as I said, it really makes sense for literally every team just because he would be the best third down running back in the league.
Yeah, I think the Patriots would be another interesting one because Ramondre's really got some fumble problems. He's probably worse than Kyron Williams, who you mentioned earlier. I think Ramondre might have the worst fumble issue in the NFL, which sucks. So I actually like him
Yeah.
a lot as a back.
He's pulling a Melvin Gordon. I mean, he's going to play himself out of the league with these fumbles. And, that's one that's actually interesting to me because I feel like they're trying to use Henderson in a similar way, the way the Saints use Kamara. Like, I think they do need to think about moving on from Stevenson, but I think they need a pounder. They need a pounding running back, and then change a pace with Henderson. But yeah, it would be interesting if it's Henderson and Kamara because that's just like, you know what I mean? It's kind of similar
Yeah.
styles.
No, it is. But Kamara's also shown that he can be an early down back. And in my opinion, I actually don't think that Mike Vrabel likes what he's seen from Travion Henderson. I think that he would get more opportunities right now than he is.
Oh
Mike
yeah.
Vrabel like what I
I,
don't think that Vrabel likes him very much.
yeah, I agree. I mean, we're talking about the fumble issue with Stevenson. You'd think that would result in at least an uptick in playing for Henderson, and it really hasn't. So yeah, I totally agree. Something's going on there.
Yeah. But all right, let's move on to the next game. Cowboys taking on the Jets. And oh my, these Jets are the only defeated team left in the NFL. 0-5 now. That's tough.
Titans beat them.
I know. That's crazy. They should
It
not. We'll
is.
talk about that later. Cardinals suck. But but the Jets 0-5. I mean, I'd say I am a little bit surprised, I guess, because I thought they were going to be okay. And I don't think it's really Justin Fields' fault, to be honest. I think he's actually played pretty decent there. He hasn't been amazing per se, but he's been pretty decent. And then it comes down to, I don't think Aaron Glenn was ready for the big spotlight. When the highlight of your season is Aaron Glenn celebrating and dancing on the sideline to a returned field goal, and you still
Yeah.
lose that game, that's you're not having a good year. You're not having a good.
Yeah. Yeah, very true. I mean, it might be a little early to, I'm not saying you're saying pull the plug on him, but it might be a little early to, say he's not doing the job. They're certainly not winning games, but I don't think he has the best roster in the world. And honestly, the defense is what's really concerning. As you said, I feel like Fields hasn't been that bad. It's kind of a lot of what we've seen when he was playing for Pittsburgh. Like he's taking care of the ball pretty well, unlike his Chicago days. And yeah, I feel like he's doing enough. I mean, you think about the Jets of old. If you're scoring 22 points in a game, you're probably winning. But when you give up 37, that just doesn't math. So yeah, and I mean, I hate to see it. I did have the Cowboys here. This was another one we had different. Worked out for me, but yeah, I still hate it.
That's fair, and I just we talked about it last year on the pod, and I probably mentioned it when we were talking about new coaches and stuff. But I'm just not a big Aaron Glenn guy, even on his Lions. I'm not a big Aaron Glenn guy. We talked about the defense of the Jets being the problem here. He is a defensive guy, so you would
Yeah,
hope that he would come in and help that situation out a little bit. And it's always weird
right.
talking about head coach coordinator, but you're the head coach. Step in a little bit if you need to, and if you are that defensive guy. You'd think they'd be doing a little bit better. But yes, I am not saying pull the plug. You can't do that to a guy yet. Absolutely not. Gotta give him the year. At least
Right.
a year. Probably
Especially when the bar's low anyway, like you talk to a Jets fan and they're probably like, "Yeah, this is about what we thought."
yep. Yep. 100%. But the Cowboys look good. Without both Turpin and CeeDee Lamb, they looked pretty good. Ryan Flournoy, what a surprise! Boy, coming out with
Yeah,
9 targets, 110-ish yards
shit's
or something.
crazy.
Yeah,
I like to say I know ball. I did not know who this human was, and then he's just popping off like this. Like, my gosh.
I'll be honest. He is stashed on my taxi squad of my other dynasty league, so I did know about this boy. So I was very
Very nice.
excited to see this performance.
Yeah, love to see that. And he's a,
Absolutely,
he's a second year guy, right?
second year guy, but he is
So,
old
yeah,
for a second year guy, 25.
yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, no, so that was nice. Dak looked pretty good. I'm pretty sure Dak's leading the NFL in passing right now. So
Yeah.
I still
I don't I don't I don't want to say this, but I feel like I have to. It is my duty. And if the Cowboys record was better, like this guy's like one of the front runners for MVP right now. What Dak's doing is absolutely phenomenal, and he's doing a lot of it without CD, which is even crazier. I definitely think the Pickens move is working out, but that doesn't replace CD Lamb. So to do what he's done with what he has around him, it's very impressive.
I agree that Pickens' move is definitely looking very good for them. Pickens has played really well in the absence
And
of
no
CeeDee
no
Lamb.
drama as far as I know either,
I know
which
it's
is also a win.
been
And we're
impressive.
talking about drama city too with Dallas. Like you'd think it would just happen by accident, but
My
nothing.
guess is Schottenheimer. I honestly don't even know which one it is. Probably has a bit of
Jettenmeyer.
yeah, sure, that works. Probably has a longer leash than for George Pickens than what Tomlin was giving George Pickens, and I
Yeah.
so
Yeah, we don't have to know much about the guy to say without a doubt he's got a longer leash now.
yeah. And also, to your point earlier about the defense being a bit of a problem, what's going on with Sauce Gardner? He has not played very well this year, and Pickens owned him this past weekend. Burnt him really
Yeah.
bad on the seam for a touchdown. Sauce has not looked good.
Yeah, honestly, for a few years now, like, or I guess 2 years, he hasn't been in the league that long, but it's starting to feel like he's just a name. Like he's getting all of this, accolades and all this praise just because of what he did as a rookie or in his second year and just having a dope ass name. And that's not enough. And yeah, I mean, we're gonna stay on you. We're gonna keep it a buck. And yeah, he's really not looking too great.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think you said it perfectly. He did have a very, very excellent rookie season, but I haven't really been impressed by what I've seen following that. But let's move on to a game I am very thrilled to talk about, and I'm sure you're very thrilled as well to talk about this one. Broncos
Is this a
taking
trick? It's
on
a
the
trick.
Eagles.
Ah.
And first loss for the Philadelphia Eagles, dropping this one 21-17. What do we think?
I think I gotta move this fucking hair out of my head. Give me a second. All right. I can't be pissed off and have freaking hair flopping around. And I'm honestly not that pissed. I'm really not. I'm really, really not. It was 17-3 Eagles about 2 minutes after halftime. We scored like immediately at a half, go up 17-3. Apparently we thought that was enough. It was not. But yeah, it wasn't. There's a lot of excuses flying around from us Eagles fans in this one. The Goddard interference late, this penalty here, this penalty there, and honestly, for the record, I hate that, and I feel like you 100% have the same view as me here. But late in the game, if you need a touchdown to win, even if you need a freaking field goal to win, if you're launching that, it's 3rd and 15, and you throw it 40 yards downfield, and there's a little bit of interference. You cannot call the flag in a moment like that. And whether it is or isn't, if it's minor and not egregious, I don't think it should be called. I really don't. And we're talking in a league where everything, I mean, everything except this is catered to the offense to score points. This is the one thing defenders have. Like, I'm going to make them fucking throw that flag, and I'm going to get a little handsy, and we're going to make sure this ball's not caught. And that's all that's happening. And the offense needs to go above and beyond and make that special play. But I don't want to spend too much time on that play in particular because there were a number of things went wrong. Mostly, where did Saquon go? I mean, our OC's getting so much shit, and he just decides to not give it to the offensive player of the year last year. He had the least amount of touches in his career where he actually was healthy throughout the whole game. He had like 9 touches. Saquon frickin' Barkley. 9. Just disgusting. And what this defense has been doing for this Eagles team as a whole throughout the whole season, special teams, what they've done for this team is impeccable. It's amazing. Without them, this team the record would be a lot worse than 4-1. And even going back to, and this is why I'm not that mad, going back to the preseason when we were talking about, the teams and everything, I thought the Eagles were going to start 2-2. So I will take this. And I honestly think it was needed because sometimes teams need this little wake up call. And, you're dropping one at home, which sucks, but it's against an AFC opponent. It doesn't hurt your divisional record, doesn't hurt your conference record. So I'm really not sweating it. And it's a team that I think is very good. I don't think they're as good as I thought they were so far this year, but I think they'll get there. And this is definitely a step in the right direction. I mean, even with the Eagles' mistakes and idiot OC, they held this team to freaking nothing in the second half if you take out the first 2 minutes of it. Like, that's impressive. And to the Eagles defense, yeah, you gave up 18 in the second half, but you gave up 21 in a game. Like, you should win that game with this Eagles offense. Like, it's very frustrating looking at the talent, looking through this roster, and we're losing games. But we're not freaking producing. and it's driving me nuts. So I hope this is a step in the right direction, a little bit of a wake up call, whatever you want to call it, because the way the Eagles have played this year is not going to cut it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think some of the things I mentioned in past weeks, it was time to pay the piper and take the L. I think the biggest thing, I think it sounds like you're on the same page, but your offensive coordinator is making some terrible, terrible,
No,
terrible,
it's
terrible
terrible.
decisions week in, week out. He is
Yeah,
not
yeah.
using his weapons correctly. He's simply not.
No, he's not. And I've said it a million times too. Like, you have talent in every position. The defense is always going to be guessing where the ball's going, who's getting it, what they're going to do. You can only cancel out so much, especially when you have a mobile quarterback. There's literally nothing a defense can do. Nothing. Like, bring out the freaking Steelers steel curtain and the Bears fucking 80s defense. Like, I don't give a shit. There's literally so much talent, you can't answer for all of it. You literally can't. So find a guy with a freaking brain and let him run this damn offense. Because it's absurd. Like, they grandfathered this guy the position. He was part of the team last year. Clearly, he wasn't freaking hanging out with Kellen Moore enough. He should have been freaking taking shits and showers with him. Because, like, what are we doing? This is not the same at all. And I thought we were getting that with this in-house hire. Like, were you not paying attention last year? Like, what?
I'm a really big fan of taking shits and showers with Kellen Moore. That cracked me up. That was good.
Yeah, that's what you do. That's literally what you do. That's what a grown ass. I'm just assaulting this man too, but that's what a grown ass man does. You do what needs to be done, and if that's ensuring Kellen Moore's ass is wiped clean, then that's what you got to do.
That's that's totally fair. But yeah, I was impressed by the Broncos here. I really liked how they bounced back in the second half. I think you alluded, I think they're on the way to being the team that maybe
Yeah,
you and I thought that they could be,
right.
but not there quite yet. But this is, as you mentioned, a good stepping stone. Cortland Sutton is playing really excellent. He's had one off game so far this year, and the rest have been really, really good.
He's
His
awesome.
connection with Bo
What?
Nix is amazing. I think Cortland Sutton is one of the most criminally underrated receivers in the league.
Yes. Thank you. He's literally one of my favorite receivers ever just because of how criminally underrated he is. I mean, people shit on him. They gave him what we give like the Jacoby Myers treatment. Like, is he a number one? I mean, he's just fortunate for this situation. But like, no, Sutton is a legit number one. And what he's done for the Broncos for years has been great. And especially with a rookie quarterback. Like, it's making Bo Nix's job a lot easier, and it's not easy when you're a young QB in this league.
No, you're very correct. Um, but yeah, I thought that was a really great game to watch. I was excited. I'm curious to see what the Eagles do here because even though this is their first loss, I've mentioned you in the past. I'm concerned if I'm an Eagles fan. I'm not liking the product that is being
Uh,
put out in the
oh,
field so
big,
far in these first five
yeah,
games. But we'll see. I mean,
big, big picture. It's extremely concerning. It really is. I mean, is this team gonna make playoffs? Like, yeah, no fucking shit. But are they gonna win a playoff game? I don't know. I do not know,
if they
and
run
that's
into
what
the
I'm concerned
Buccaneers,
with.
maybe not. But
We just beat them. What the
hey,
hell is it?
come playoff time, we'll see. 'Cause Baker's a
Yeah.
different animal.
That's true. We've beaten them in the regular season before, and we saw what happened that same year in playoffs. So, touche.
Exactly. But anyways, we'll move on. We'll give that one a rest and let's go to the Dolphins taking on the Panthers. Panthers
Ah, this one
pulling
pissed
this
me
one
off too.
27-24.
What is this shit? I can't wait for week 6, man.
I know. Week 6 does need to come fast because as we mentioned, this was truly a horrible, horrible game for horrible week, excuse me, for the two of us.
Yeah.
It really
Yeah.
was. I mean,
Horrible game for us. This is our game. This is our Sunday, and we just freaking got blown out.
that's so true.
Ah,
But Bryce Young, not looking too bad. Dolphins continue to struggle. Gosh, I can't even remember when it happened, but Tyreek injury, I don't know if we got to address that on the pod. I think that
no,
may have been 2 weeks
no.
ago, but
Yeah.
Oof, that is real tough for Tyreek Hill. I really feel for him here. I'd like to get your take while we're talking about the Dolphins. Do you think that Tyreek comes back to the NFL? A guy that I think was already on the downtrend.
Yeah.
I'm sure many people that have seen that video, it's not a great video to see, and how his leg turned
No.
and knee is looking. It's pretty gruesome. So I don't recommend, if you haven't seen it, that you go and look it up for real. It's not great.
It's gross. Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll flip your tummy, especially me personally having a knee injury. It wasn't great to see.
Yeah.
Um,
A
but
guy
yeah, I
that's relies on speed, already on the downtrend, having that happen
right.
to your knee, I don't know that he comes back.
Yeah, I don't. And if I was Tyreek Hill, I'm definitely not. But I say that almost every time with these players because if I had millions and billions of dollars, like I'm not risking my life and my body. Because you got to remember, these guys retire, they have years and years of their life left, and the damage that can be done to you in the NFL sticks around. So it's definitely something I wouldn't come back from. But will he? I don't know. I mean, you got egos at play here. He certainly has one, and it's a lot bigger than his 5'8" ass or whatever tall he is. But yeah, I could totally see him coming back. I don't think if he did come back, it would be as a Dolphin, though. I feel like this was already kind of bridge burning, and I think this kind of does it. But I will say, the guy had surgery and literally was in the facility a few days later, and he was like motivating the players before this Panthers game. And that said a lot to me, honestly, because I didn't think he was that kind of a character. Um, Thought he was more of destroying a team, not putting them together and lifting them up. Uh, but yeah, I hope he comes back. But I think you have a point there about the speed. I mean, I feel like it's certainly not going to be what it was, and that really was his thing. I mean, his catch in traffic was phenomenal considering his size, but I mean, it was all about the speed otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned Bryce Young had an okay game, like 200-ish yards, 2 touchdowns, an interception, not terrible. Tua actually had quite a good game himself. The guy I want to talk about a little bit more on the Dolphins, Darren Waller. That boy is making a true comeback. He is looking good for this Dolphins team. And I would be remiss if I did not mention Mr. Rush for 200 yards in a spot start, Rico Dowdle. Chuba Hubbard out, and Rico just goes off for 206 yards against this Dolphins.
Yeah. And this is part of my rage here. This was the toughest game, in my opinion, besides maybe Bucks Seahawks, which we have to talk about still. But I was on the fence, back and forth. End up going Dolphins, get it wrong. That sucks. Every fantasy league I'm in, I played against Dowdle.
That's tough. That is tough. I will say I picked him up as a handcuff for Chuba in my big money league, and he won me the league. I had my top 5 picks from this year out, and I ended up pulling out the win just because of how well Rico Dowdle did. I had another 0, and then I had Brenton Strange, who went out after 1 catch, and Rico carried me to victory. What a G, what a G. But I'm curious on your thoughts after a performance like that. Does Chuba even get the starting spot back after a performance like that? It's not like there's a lot of money tied to Chuba like there is to Brock. Don't get me wrong; he's got a decent amount of money for a running back. He did re-sign that contract either last offseason or the season before. I can't quite remember right now. So he's got decent running back money, but I mean, rushing for 200 yards on just over 20 carries is
Yeah,
that's pretty
that's
insane.
crazy good work. I think it's got to go back to Hubbard though. I mean, I look for consistency for every single position in the NFL, and that's no flaw against Dowdle. He might not have the opportunity to show consistency, but at the end of the day, there isn't consistency there. Therefore, I think it should go back. But I mean, hopefully he does get a shot. I would love to see a true battle. Regardless, he definitely earned himself some more snaps. So definitely a win for him at the end of the day. But I'm not putting too much weight on a game against the Dolphins. I'm just really not.
That's completely fair. They are, as we mentioned, many weeks now. They're gonna suck. They're gonna suck. That Tyreek injury doesn't help anymore, and their defense is not looking good. Not looking good, especially with gosh, I can't even blanking on the name. That's fine. We'll move on. Maybe I'll remember it later and we'll come back to it. But Panthers win there. I like that you mentioned you thought that this and the Bucks game were the two most tough games for you because I got both of those correct. So that I really appreciate you acknowledging
Yeah.
my genius.
Well, and it's also just a big fu to me too. Like the toughest games, freaking 50-50, you just gotta pick, and I pick wrong on both. Like,
That's fair.
great. Can't even get the split. But
That's fair. I mean, you're still kicking my ass. We'll get to that later. But a game that's we'll talk about another game here next. Texans Ravens. What the hell happened here, man? Holy shit. 44-10 Texans. Texans offense goes off. This Ravens team is in shambles.
oh man,
Absolute shambles.
it's bad. I was hoping you didn't know that, but once I saw you pick Texans, I knew you knew. But yeah, I mean the Ravens are in a terrible spot. We both went Texans here, but I definitely, and I think you were getting to this, didn't expect it to go this bad though. I mean, and I don't. We kind of talked about the Texans a lot. Like they're kind of letting us down with where they're at, and I don't think this really propels them into the right direction. I think the Ravens are just that dismantled right now.
No, I agree 100%. I think the Ravens are just they had I think I looked they were showing it on the broadcast like $165 million of their salary cap, which is like 260 or something like that, on the injury list right now. Did not play in that game.
That's
165 million.
crazy.
That's
Yeah. I
ridiculous.
know they're missing like an absurd number on defense. It's like 6 or 7 starters. Like it's just
Yes.
terrible.
Off the top
And
of my
then you
head,
don't have
Kyle
Lamar
Hamilton,
too.
Roquan Smith, whoever that D tackle is that I can't say his last name at a something.
I'm not gonna try.
Yeah, but anyways, you all know who I'm talking about. That's a big loss for them. Everybody is out, and then you add Lamar on top of that. They're in a really tough spot because you normally would expect the Ravens to be able to get by, and then they maybe they rest Lamar for these next 2 weeks, and they go into the bye, and he comes back, and they're in an okay spot, go on a run, pick up a playoff spot. Anyways, but I think they're in a position where they may need to rush Lamar back a little bit, or else this year is going to
Definitely.
go by the wayside. They are 1-4
Yeah.
right now. That they
Yeah.
cannot
They
wait.
can't dick around. Yeah. No, I agree. They're totally on the clock here. I mean, a lot of their really tough games were already played. Their schedule's definitely difficult, but a lot of the really tough ones were already done. So, I mean, they got a lot of conference or divisional play to worry about, but that really shouldn't be too much of a problem. It's almost guaranteed a split between them and the Steelers. It's just the way it goes. But we got Burrow on the sidelines for Cincinnati, and the Browns are rolling out rookies the rest of the way. So, I think the Ravens will be fine in that respect. But yeah, they're in a hole and they can't dick around. I mean, they got to get Lamar back. They got to get these defensive pieces back week by week, and yeah, try and salvage this season because they drop a few more. It gets to the point where it's just, I mean, we're talking they need a historical run to get in, or it's not happening.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what decision they make with Lamar because, like I said, I think normally they'd be in a better spot and they'd be okay just letting him fully heal up and get some extra rest after this showing this past week. I don't know that they can wait, but we'll see what happens. Let's move on to Tennessee taking on the Arizona Cardinals, and this is a game that Tennessee did not win. This is a game that Arizona lost. It's just
Come
that
on,
simple.
it
It,
could be their only one, and you're not going to give them any credit.
absolutely not. Are you
Yeah,
kidding me?
buddy.
Yeah. Did you? I'm sure the people that maybe did not see this, but would have ended the game probably for sure right here. Cardinals interception. Own boy knocks out. They fumble. Tyler Lockett gets on it in the end zone for a touchdown. How lucky is that? That's crazy work right there. I mean, it's the NFL, anything can happen, but my goodness, I wasn't impressed by anything the Titans did. Continue to be underwhelmed by Cam Ward. I'm not really. I don't think they're going to win many more games. I'm going to put it that way. And this Cardinals team, I think I was Spot on. I'm just gonna say that. They suck.
I I for one was not spot on. I had them finishing second in the West in the NFC, and yeah, I don't see that happening. I mean, this is a mess, man. We're talking Gannon's on his way out, which whatever, and Murray likely his last season as a Cardinal as well. I mean, there's going to be a lot of change going on in Arizona. This was a make or break season. I thought they'd maybe make it, and I think they've chose to break it.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, Cardinals beat themselves. Look at Amari DiMercado, 70-yard touchdown run. What's he do? Drops the ball before getting the. How many times are NFL players going to need to see someone else to do
Oh, it's
this?
insane.
Just hold on to the ball. What is the need to flick that ball out of your hand?
It's
Honestly,
it's hysterical to me. Like the football is literally treasure. It is gold. Like you have the value. It's the whole freaking game is based on this ball. You have it. You're doing the thing. The thing is good, and then you're like so quick to just get rid of it. Like what is this? Like if I'm a coach, I'm literally going freaking dictator mode. Like you hand the ball to the ref after you cross, then you go fuck around with your teammates and celebrate. But I want to see that hand to the ref every single time. Like, because this is ridiculous. And the fact that this is continuing to happen year after year, like it's 1, 2 times a season, but it should be never. It's so dumb.
I agree. It should be never. And to your point, I think that Jonathan Gannon might be going dictator mode. I don't know if you got to see the interaction between
Yeah.
him and DeMarcado.
Yeah.
He got fined for that by the card.
Yeah, like 100K.
Yeah, I mean, probably rightfully so. You can't be doing that, but
No.
he.
Yeah, there was contact there.
Oh
Like
yes,
barking at a guy's one thing, but don't freaking lay your hands on him.
yeah.
That's
Because I mean,
ridiculous.
respectfully, as an NFL player, he probably could beat your ass, Gannon.
Oh,
Like
100%.
clear.
I was thinking that too. I'm like,
Yeah,
you're doing that to the wrong player. Like, you're fucked, man.
yeah. Yeah, running backs are beefy, dude. That lay one solid knock on you, you're toast, bro.
Yeah.
Especially because in that type of situation, the players would probably rally around DeMarcado and not
Oh,
Gannon. So
dude, that is not a numbers game you want to be a part of. He's going to get
53
freaking,
on one.
oh, man. He's just going to get cleated. This is terrible.
Yeah, so Cardinals suck. I'm excited to see what they do once Kyler is gone. I don't think that Kyler's the entire problem, but I certainly don't think he is part of the solution there. I'll put it that way. But let's move on. We got a couple games left. You mentioned this one earlier, the Bucks taking on the Seahawks, and this was an exciting game. Both Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold absolutely balling out. I love Baker. The guy is such a personality. He's truly a team player too. If you watch his interviews, you watch him on the field. He loves his guys. He really does. And he's doing it without Mike Evans. Chris Godwin is truly not fully integrated back into that team yet. Ibuka still looking good. I'll give him credit, but again, I we'll see what happens throughout the year and years to come. But I'm still not entirely sold in that game against the Eagles. I don't know that we got to talk about that one. Time is really just it's a mess, but he would have had like 4 catches for 27 yards, bar that 70-yard touchdown, which was Egbuka did not beat those cornerbacks. Baker dotted those cornerbacks on that throw. I'm sure you probably agree. I'm sure you watched that closely, but that was the one spot that those cornerbacks could not touch that ball.
This is true, but Quinion Mitchell was on him a lot of that game, which I don't want to spend too much time on a game this long ago. But I mean, Quinion Mitchell is no one to be messed with, and he was on him a lot of the game. In fact, all those other catches you mentioned, I think, were the ones on cue. And I mean, you said it yourself. The yardage wasn't really there, but yeah, I agree. Both of the long plays in that game were fluky, like or a freaking dot by Baker. But to your point, you can't go against Baker, and I just continue to do it every once in a while. And I did it here. 12th man definitely got in my head a little bit too. You know I'm a sucker for a home team, especially the 12th man. But one of the key absences you didn't mention, which really swayed this for me, was no Bucky Irving either. Like this team was really withered away to nothing, but who did they have at quarterback, Chris? Who did they have?
Also, I
Baker.
like
Did he
Rashad
get it
White. I'm
done?
just gonna throw that out there. I like
I do
Rashad
too.
White.
I do. Yeah. I'm also like biased because I was the lucky bastard who got him in his breakout fantasy season.
That's fair. I actually think that the Bucks would do well to split carries a little bit more between those two, or at least use Rashad more in the passing game because Rashad's got Bucky beat in the passing game as a running back. I'm just going to throw that out there. So I'd like to see him used more, and I hope that he
Well,
gets more touches down the line.
yeah. Yeah, I agree with you, but honestly they're trending in that direction. I mean, last year once Bucky was Bucky, White was really just a third down back. Like he caught passes, that was pretty much it. This year we're seeing him in the run game again, and yeah, he's an effective running back. So I agree. I'd like to see this go to more of a, I don't know, 60-40 type relationship.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I give the majority to Bucky. Don't get me wrong; he's been very, very impressive. But I think for Chad, I hope that you are right and they do get closer to that. But back to my original point here, because I just Sam Darnold deserves some props here too. The boy balled out. He may have had an overall better game than Baker, to be honest. And and I love it for what we talked about, the Vikings. I hope you're watching Sam Darnold absolutely ball in Seattle and regretting every decision you ever made. Seriously. I love to see Sam Darnold excelling specifically for hoping that all Vikings fans and Vikings front office guys are like, God damn it. We really should have brought him back. That's what I want them to be thinking right now.
Yeah. Oh, I'm happy with that too. And I'm sure they're feeling it at least a little bit, but yeah, I don't know. They they felt like they had to, roll the rookie out and the second year rookie that is. But
A
yeah,
true
that didn't
Ben
last very long. Would have been
Simmons-esque.
nice if they had Darnold. Yeah, don't say that name. What are we doing?
Hey, second year rookie. That's the name that comes to mind when you say things like that. So
Yeah, yeah. For me too, it does.
yeah, exactly. But let's move on to my boyos here. The Lions taking on the Bengals. Score was deceiving here, 37-24 final, but Lions really had this game in command until it came to the fourth quarter, and then the Bengals went on a little bit of a run. A point that I'd like to bring up is a lot of people like to shit on Terry and Arnold, sometimes rightfully so, but it was as soon as he came out that game that Bengals offense started clicking and finding stuff in the passing game. It was like this, which also brings me another point I was to make. Detroit Lions defense and this year specifically secondary staying healthy, challenge level, impossible. Just cannot happen. Terrion Arnold now out for probably a couple weeks. Got lucky there. It looked like it was probably going to be season ending until we got some news the past couple days that it's likely not quite that bad. So I'm pretty happy about that. But the Lions are back, baby. They had their week one fuck up and they are back in full force now. They are so back, and I'm so excited about
Oh, they
it.
look good, man.
I
They look good. I mean, this upcoming week's power rankings jumped the Bills and the Eagles. They are number one now, and I agree with what we've seen so far this year. I think they deserve the number one spot. Will they hold on to it? I don't know, but yeah, they're nothing to play around with for sure.
Jared Goff leading the league in a lot of categories for a quarterback. Dak's got him beaten a couple, and we mentioned him earlier in the season that he's having, but Jared Goff's right up there too. Don't disrespect my boy. I know he's not mobile, but he's another guy that is criminally underrated. People just like to hate on him, and similar to Dak, he's had some playoff struggles a little bit, so that's where a lot of that comes from. But he did take a team to the Super Bowl, so let's not forget that. And
Ugh.
he might
But
just do
let's
it again.
forget that Super Bowl because
Yeah, that
wow.
was bad. Yeah, 3 points for the Rams in that Super Bowl. Tough. But yeah, Lions, I'm super excited. I said this after the Ravens game. That was watching that game was the first time that I watched a game. The game ended, and I was like, hot damn. I really believe in this team. Like, I really think that they could genuinely do it. I really believe that. Not just hope or think it's a possibility. watching that Ravens game and now these past couple weeks, I've got a feeling I can't say that I felt before about the Lions, which unsurprising given the fact that they were shit for my entire life, bar the last 3 years now. Didn't have many chances
Yeah.
to feel this way. But this year, I'm really liking what I'm seeing. Kelvin Shepherd, respect my guy. You're doing pretty all right as a rookie defensive coordinator. Morton, you're improving. So I'll give you that.
Very good. But yeah, Lions nothing to play around with. They're definitely a force. And yeah, I'm kind of shocked you haven't had this feeling last year or the year before. I mean, they were definitely legit. But yeah, I guess what you clarified it pretty well. We're not talking about hope. We're not talking about they can. It's like holy shit, they are.
Yeah, no, I don't know how to quantify the feeling, but I'd never quite felt that way that I did watching that Ravens game.
Yeah.
So we'll see
Well,
what happens, but I'm really excited.
the way you win games is very important to that feeling you're talking about. And I see what you mean. I mean, the Lions are doing. I've seen in the past when the Eagles were doing it. Like when you win a game, the way these teams win games, when it's just yeah, you let them float around, whatever. But when it's fucking fourth quarter winning time, like you just freaking put your foot on their neck and you get it done. And that's a beautiful thing.
It is indeed, but let's move on. We got a couple games left from last week. Commanders taking on the Chargers, and Chargers were looking good out the gates. Injury bug has hit them hard, and you can tell by the product on the field. They are certainly not the same team from the first 3 weeks of the NFL season. Credit must go to the Commanders in this game. They played really well. Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, also known as Bill, is looking really excellent. Great find for them in the 7th round, especially given that they traded away Brian Robinson Jr., then Eckler goes down with that Achilles. So Bill emerging for them has been really, really big for them. The Chargers, they never really looked like they had a chance in this game.
Yeah. Yeah, the injuries are just too much. This was one that we had different that actually went my way, which was nice. But yeah, that's the whole reason why I picked it. I'm like, the Chargers don't have an offensive line left. Like they just don't. And we even saw like it looked like Von Miller turned back the clock a little bit. He was effective. And yeah, I agree. It never really looked like they had a shot. And honestly, like I don't like using excuses, but it really feels like it's because of those injuries.
I think there is a time and place for that statement, such as I will stand by the Lions
Lions last year.
last
Yeah.
year. That defense
Yeah.
defense injuries were they were ravaged to say the least, and I think that's happening to the Chargers this year. A little bit earlier than the Lions last year was more around week 6 when that kicked in. It's like week 4 for the Chargers this year. So hopefully for them they can keep up, win a couple games, maybe get some of those guys back later in their year and bounce back. But I
Yeah.
think my
I hope
initial
so. They
I
were
think
a
my
lot of
initial
fun.
prediction of them winning the AFC isn't looking so great with their current injury crisis. I think if they stayed healthy and looked like they did the first week, I'd be feeling really good. But these last 2 weeks have been less than convincing and unfortunate for them. Yeah, let's move on. We got 2 games left from last week. We got the Patriots taking on the Bills, and my, the Bills lose their first game of the year to the New England Patriots. Crazy work. Drake
Yeah.
May
I
looks
mean,
good.
yeah, he does, dude. And Vrabel again, man. We've been saying it. He's gonna get this team right. Um, I feel like this is more division mayhem than it is the Pats are gonna be legit this year, and more than anything else. But yeah, I mean, credit where credit is due. I mean, they just beat the freaking Bills, and as you mentioned, the Jets being winless throughout. Now there are no undefeated teams left in the NFL with the Eagles and Bills dropping. And really, it was turnovers. It was like Josh Allen was back to his old ways. I mean, he's gotten so much better at protecting the ball, but I mean, I think it was 3 turnovers in this game. You just can't do it as a team. It's not good. It allows a team like the Pats to, sneak up on you and get it done. And Pats did it when it was in Buffalo too. I'm incredibly impressed with the Pats being able to pull that off.
I mean, they bottled up James Cook, who's been excellent so far this year, one of the best running
Yeah.
backs in the league, bottled him up entirely, as you said, forced turnovers, and a big name I wanna mention here, Stefon Diggs might be back. Over 100 yards each of the last 2 weeks, really took it to the Bills this past week. He's looking really good again. I'm excited to see that. I've got him on my OG Dynasty team, and I tried to trade him away earlier in the year and got a lot of shit being like, nobody wanted Stephon Diggs. So I have some thoughts for
Yeah.
all of those people, but
Yes.
so that's really and I think Stephon Diggs, he seems to have mellowed out a little bit as well. His conduct on the
Yeah.
sideline isn't nearly as bad as it was towards the end of his tenure in Minnesota and then the end of his tenure in Buffalo. So we'll see how that goes. But I also have a feeling that Vrabel's a little bit more of a no nonsense guy than any of his previous head coaches. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's contributing to that as well. But I hope Stephon Diggs keeps it up, honestly, because Drake May needs that kind of guy in a receiver, especially with that wide receiver room he's got. They're not really ready to go. He's got Kayshon Boutte and Kyle Williams, the rookie, and Demario Douglas, and people listening to this might not even recognize all those names. But yeah, that's their wide receiver room outside of Stephon Diggs. So
It's they need to get him the ball, and they have the last 2 weeks, like you said. So it's good to see that chemistry taking place. We were both pretty shocked with the the early results of this season with him not getting the ball. And yeah, I was starting to think he was washed, maybe, but yeah, he seems to be all right. I think it was more of a chemistry thing, and just Drake May even just getting more reps. I mean, it's you need a lot of reps in the NFL to really understand what the hell's going on at quarterback. So
and even just with individual receivers, man, just how they
yeah.
run routes, when they break routes, when they turn their head,
Yeah, the
which
timing is everything.
I just want to give before we move on to the last game of the week here. That catch that Diggs made on the sideline, that toe tap was crazy work. That was an excellent grab. Deserves to be
Oh,
mentioned by itself.
dude, his sideline work is amazing. He's definitely one of the best in the league at that, and there's a lot of good ones.
Yes, very, very true. But let's move on to the last game to recap. The Chiefs taking on the Jaguars, and Trevor Lawrence pulled the Patrick Mahomes. I mean, that's the simplest way I can put this. At the end of the game, Chiefs pull ahead.
Crazy.
Go up 28-24, less than 2 minutes left for Trevor Lawrence on the clock, and what does he do? He drives down this field and scores a game-winning touchdown.
Yeah.
Trips on the
Yeah.
touchdown play, which was really hilarious. Did you see Chris Jones' effort on that play, though?
Yes. Yes.
Come
So bad.
on. They're like scratching his nutsack in the middle of the field while just watching Trevor do whatever. Come on now, man. What are we doing? Show a little bit of
Yeah.
effort. Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's bad. I've never been a Chris Jones guy, and I feel like a lot of it was just personal bias in the way, but seeing this play made me realize I was right all these years.
This one play, that's all you needed for
Yes.
validation.
Honestly, for real.
That's
Like,
fair.
would you ever I mean, we're gonna play extreme imaginary game, but you're freaking 6'3", freaking 300 pounds of muscle, and you play for the Chiefs, and it's the game's on the line. Are you scratching your nuts, or are you trying to make the play?
I
And
mean, I'm trying
yeah,
to make the play. Pretty simple, but
yeah.
especially getting paid that much money, man. I'm going out for it, bro. I want to earn more money. That's the thing. That's what would drive me, the next contract. But another thing I want to say here about the Chiefs is Patrick Mahomes looks back. He did have a bit of a down year last year. I don't think that's disputable, to be honest. He wasn't his normal self, but he is looking really, really good again this year. He did throw the pick six, which was unfortunate. Devin Lloyd, great play, taking that back 99 yards. But overall, Patrick Mahomes looks really, really good again. And even though the Chiefs are 2-3 now, I don't think that you can discount them. I think if they sneak into the playoffs, they're going to be a very, very dangerous team, especially after Raji Rice comes back. I mean, they only got Worthy back so far after his injury in week 1. They've already looked a ton better just from his return. Imagine what they look like once Raji comes back into that lineup. Who knows? They're looking really great. And before I hand it back off to you, I don't want to be a dick here and leave the winning team out of this, but credit to the Jags. They look really Pretty good. Pretty good so far this year. Travis Hunter, I will give you props for that catch you made. That was a pretty excellent catch. But if people are paying attention, you know what kind of grab that was? That was a defensive back grab. That was not a wide receiver grab. That was a defensive play. People, like, if you actually watch that game, so clear. That was a defensive play. He just happened to be playing receiver.
Yeah. That's funny. I didn't think of it like that, but you're not wrong. But yeah, Jags looking impressive, man. This win obviously extremely impressive. Uh Probably half the world, 99% of the world probably thought Chiefs in this one. And yeah, Jags get it done. Jags already beat the Niners. Like they have some impressive ass wins. And yeah, they're I mean, kind of like we said earlier about this AFC South. It's weird. It's weird, but I'm here for it. But yeah, I love seeing the Chiefs lose. And yeah, the last play was really fun too, dude. Like you trip, sack yourself, get back up, stumble again, look at Chris Jones scratching his nuts, get in the end zone, win the game. I love it.
But yeah, so that is our week 5 recap. So let's move on to our week 6 game picks and predictions. Quick recap here for you. So we missed last week. We talked about that. How'd I do week 4? How'd Chris do week 4? Well, I went 9 of 16. Chris went 11 and 16. So we picked up 2 games there. And then in week 5, I already mentioned I went 6 of 14, Chris 5 and 14. A really rough week for the Pod Boys. And Chris and I had been talking about this offline, at least myself. I thought that I was really struggling in these game picks this year. I wasn't very happy with my performance, especially given how well that I did last year, hitting at about a 70% clip. Just short of that, I think, by the end of the year. But as promised, I did look up our ESPN experts and their picks so far this year, and it seems to just be a bit of a wild year. Chris is, in fact, beating all 11 of the ESPN NFL experts right now. He's got 52 out of 78. The closest ESPN expert's got 50. Myself, I am ahead of 1, losing to 7, tied with 3, but right in the mix and could totally jump above quite a few with one good week. So with that in mind, we're not doing quite as well as last year, I would say, at least myself. Chris is ahead of all these guys, but not bad. Better than I thought. We'll put it that way. But with that,
Yeah.
we will go ahead and make our picks for the following week. I made some interesting picks this week. I will admit there were a couple I was really just going on gut feel. I'm not sure that I love it, but it's what my body was telling me to do. Let's start with the Thursday night game, Eagles taking on the Giants. I did go Eagles here. If the Eagles win last week, I'm going Giants. Eagles are not dropping 2 in a row.
Fair. That was my other than my bias and obsession with the Eagles. That's my logic too. Like just teams like that don't tend to drop 2 in a row, so I'm going Birds.
And Brian Dable also gave them whiteboard material with his pregame press conference. Not sure if you heard that, but he took a shot at the
No.
offensive coordinator a little bit, saying like AJ Brown is always open type of
Oh
situation.
boy.
Yeah, so gave them whiteboard material, and you can't do that.
Throwing rocks from glass houses, I see.
So that's fair. But yeah, so I guess you had Eagles there as well, since you said that was your logic. Let's move on to the Broncos taking on the Jets. I think the Jets remain winless here. I got Broncos.
Yeah, I don't think the Jets are going to remain winless for long, but yeah, I think they drop another. I'm going Broncos.
All right, up next we got the Cardinals taking on the Colts, and I'm going Colts here. I already gave you my thoughts on the Cardinals. I think they're ass cheeks. I picked them to finish last. I'm loving that prediction right now. I don't see them being better than any of the other 3 teams in the West, and the Colts have been excellent. So I got Colts.
Yeah, I went Colts too, but I learned a lot about myself here. I am stubborn. I was very close to picking the Cardinals. I'm like, they just like it was so bad that like it makes me think there's a bounce back, but I'm like, no, they're dog shit. Pick the Colts. So
Now
we're
that you
going
say
Colts.
that, it will be the week they have a bounce back. Just to
It,
throw
it,
that at.
it might. And that's honestly that I like to be honest with our audience here, and that's part of why I throw things out like that. Like it's messed up and it's weird that I thought that, but Hey, if it happens, you
No,
know I'm psychic.
I feel you there. That's why I liked week 3 where I mentioned I was very close on going Browns over the Packers. Like to let you know the
Yeah,
thought was in the
exactly.
brain. It
Right,
was in the
right.
brain. I just couldn't
Yes.
commit. I have commitment issues. What can I say? Uh, let's go Chargers Dolphins next up here. Even with all the injuries, I got the Chargers here. I just think the Dolphins are that bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I was close to going Dolphins because of these damn Charger injuries, but yeah, I ended up going Chargers. They kind of have to right the ship, and I think Harbaugh and the remaining pieces of the puzzle are going to be good enough to get this done.
Up next, we got the Browns taking on the Steelers, and I was very close to going Browns here, but I ended up going Steelers in the end. That is my pick, but I was very close to going Browns. I haven't been overly impressed by the Steelers' offense overall this year. DK Metcalf's had a good year because he's gotten a lot of touchdowns, but they haven't really gotten him super involved. I don't think they're
Yeah.
quite utilizing him as much as they should, especially given the other talent in wide receiver room, which there really isn't any of, to my point. You got Calvin Austin. I won't fully disrespect you, but come on now. Um, Aging Aaron Rodgers, and I just think this could be a tough game in Pittsburgh for Dylan Gabriel taking on TJ Watt in that Steelers defense.
Yeah. Yeah, I went Steelers too here, but yeah, the Browns definitely crossed my mind. Um, Combination of everything you just said really steered me to Steelers, but then also the value of a bye week, man. I think it really does help teams, especially well coached teams. And we all know Tomlin's one of the best. So Steelers.
So that gives me even a little more confidence in going with the Buccaneers here. Plus, I had the Buccaneers winning the AFC, and I made a mistake last week not sticking with what I thought at the beginning of the year and not picking the 49ers. So even though the 49ers are going to win the NFC West, just going to put that in plain terms here, the Buccaneers are going to win this game.
Yeah, I have the Bucks winning this too. This one was kind of tough, but then I kind of had that internal debate that I just went over in our recap. Freaking Baker, man. You got to ride with him. So I'm
He's
going Bucks.
he's excellent. The Panthers and the Browns both letting this man go. What a mistake. Look at your franchise
Yeah,
now, honestly.
yeah.
What
And shout out to the Rams. Spark this man's
they did.
revival.
They absolutely did. They did. Up next, we have the Cowboys taking on the Panthers, and I've got the Cowboys here. Pretty easy pick for me. Panthers haven't been completely terrible most games, but the Cowboys just look better, even without their top two wideouts.
Yeah, I went Cowboys too. This one wasn't easy for me though. But it never is. It's never easy to pick them. But yeah, I mean, I kind of mentioned it earlier. The way Dak's playing, he's really elevating the team around him, which I want to chum. But yeah, I gotta go. I gotta go Cowboys here. Panthers are too teeter tottery for me.
That's completely fair. Up next, we got the Seahawks taking on the Jaguars, and we just complimented the Jaguars, but I got the Seahawks here. I like what Sam Darnold is doing. His connection with JSN has been really excellent to this point. Their defense has been pretty good. I'm still not fully so sold on the Jaguars being a powerhouse. So I think this is a game that they have the opportunity to drop, and I decided to decide that they will.
Yeah, yeah, I'm right with you. Jags have been very impressive. But yeah, I mean, they're coming off a short week now, just playing the Chiefs Monday night, and a win that they probably weren't expecting themselves. Might be riding a little high, inflating egos and whatnot. And then the Seahawks on the flip, they lose at a really good, well fought game, but they need to answer for that loss, and I think they do. So I'm going Seahawks.
All right, not loving that we have every same pick here in the first half of next week's
Yeah,
picks, but that's all right. We'll move on to the second half and hopefully find some differences. We got the Rams taking on the Ravens here, and I went Rams, but I just want to throw this out there for everybody to hear. If Lamar plays, I reserve the right to switch to the Ravens. All right, that is a big big difference here. I'm going Rams, but if Lamar plays, I'm flipping.
You're flipping?
If Lamar plays, I'm just saying, we know about the injury. Who knows what's going to happen? I'm putting it out there for the world. Rams are in my app right now, but if Lamar plays, I'm switching.
You're switching? Okay. I mean, we've never done that with injuries before,
I know.
but
I'm kidding,
that's
but
that's fine. But yeah, I'm going Rams. And honestly, if Lamar plays, go ahead and switch.
no, it's fine. I just wanted a bit of the reaction there because this defense is so torn up that I don't think it actually matters if a 80% Lamar
That's why
comes
I'm
back.
saying.
Yeah, I don't think it actually matters if an 80% Lamar comes back because he's not going to be 100% even if he does come back and they rush him back a little bit. And this defense is so hurt, it's not going to matter. But anyways, let's move on. We got Titans Raiders battle of shit. I think that the Titans will be shittier, so I went Raiders here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll take the shit home team.
The home team, of course. Here we are. Then we got the Bengals taking on the Packers. This was intriguing with the news that Joe Flacco is going to the Bengals because Joe Flacco having a guy like Jamar Chase to throw to and T. Higgins as a 2 is a very intriguing proposition. But the Packers just had a bye week. They're going to be fresh. Joe's still got to learn a new offense, which I'm sure he's honestly one of the best people suited to do that on quick
Yeah.
timelines.
I don't think it'll take long.
Yeah. But I got to go Packers here. Their defense has looked quite excellent to this point, bar that Cowboys game. That was a bit of a pleasant surprise. Maybe not so pleasant for you, but pleasant for me.
Yeah. I didn't mind so much. Ties are kind of wacky. I kind of fuck with them. Although it could really help you or it could really hurt you when it's all said and done, which also kind of adds to the fun there. But yeah, I went Packers too. Coming off the bye is huge. It was tempting once they made this Flacco move, but I just think it's too soon. I may start to partake in the occasional sip of Bangle juice with Joe at the helm. But yeah, I'm certainly not going to relapse to the way I was.
I'm glad. What chip are you on right now? You got your week chip yet? The month long chip?
I think we're close. Yeah, I got the 30-day, but it's not even like genuine silver, so I don't really care about it, and I'm thirsty, so there's that.
Everybody out there, stay off the Bangle juice, please. It was a really tough time for Chris. Yeah. Uh, but all right. So still looking the same. Only got 4 games left here. I'm hoping to find at least one difference. Pats coming up
For
against the
real.
Saints. I got the
It was not an
Patriots
easy
here.
week.
I know. I literally opened this up a thing. I don't love some of these, but here we are. Pats Saints. I got the Patriots here. Saints will probably be semi-competitive because I don't think the Patriots are a blow you away type of team, but I think the Patriots will win.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see the Saints pulling it off, but I'm not picking it, so we remain the same.
Yeah.
Pats.
Lions, Chiefs. I doubt with as much as you love the Chiefs that you went
Yeah,
Chiefs
okay.
here. So I went Lions. They're the much better team. We talked about earlier. They're number 1 in the power rankings. They are firing on all cylinders since week 1. So until they lose, I think Lions are gonna be the pick for me again here. Pretty consistent.
Yeah. I actually went Chiefs.
Really? Hot
Yeah,
damn.
I did.
I love
They
that.
the main I know. I'm sure you do because I agree with everything you said. The Lions are the much better team without a doubt. But Chiefs losing in the way they lost, and I know it's a short week too, even for the Chiefs, but it is at Arrowhead, which it sucks, man. The Eagles had to do it week 1, and I mean we got by, but it's never easy. And like you mentioned too, Mahomes is kind of turning it on. I mean, they're kind of coming together. Worthy's back in the mix. And yeah, I agree too. When Rice gets thrown in the mix, they're going to be a real problem and they make playoffs. Watch out. But yeah, until then, I mean, they got to do things to get it going in the right direction. And I could see it happening here. I don't think it's likely. In fact, something fired me up here. The Chiefs are actually favored in this game, which is asinine, if you ask me. I think it's like 1.5 or maybe 2.5, which they say the home team gives you 3. So yeah, But even still, like the Lions not being favored in this made me want to pick the Lions 10 times more. But I could see the Chiefs doing it, and I knew it was going to be a difference. Like it's very rare, honestly. You keep it a buck. You pick what you pick. It's very rare when I know you're going to pick a different side. And obviously, here I knew you'd go Lions are the better team, and they're your team. But yeah, I'm just kind of pulling for something crazy here, which maybe I shouldn't be doing with a lead, but fuck it.
Yeah, why not? I mean, you get it right, then that's heartbreaking for me. The Lions lose, and you pick up another game on me. So, well,
Well, I'm
yeah,
I'm not out here for blood.
I am. What are you doing? Yeah.
I don't want your team to. Well, you hate the Eagles. It's completely different. I want to kick your ass in picks. Don't get me wrong, but I don't have any beef against the Lions, and honestly, I doubt I ever will unless they're like a freaking 10-year dynasty bullshit.
Yeah, for that to happen, Jared Goff would need to be replaced by a G, because no matter what I want, Jared Goff's not going to have a 10-year dynasty with the Lions.
Yeah,
It would have had to
yeah,
start in year one,
yeah,
with him there. But anyways, all right. So we got two games left, two Monday night games. The Bills taking on the Falcons. This was easy for me. Bills here, they're not going to drop two in a row. Similar reasoning to why I went Eagles earlier. Falcons aren't horrible, but Bills, after dropping their first game to the Patriots in the way that they did, I think the Falcons are going to get destroyed.
yeah, yeah. I agree. And Falcons coming off a bye here too, but it don't matter. Bye week, you're home. I don't care. There's an angry Josh Allen, and yeah, he's the Bills are just gonna smoke. I completely agree.
Yeah. All right, we got one game left here. Bears taking on the Commanders. And this is the one game that I just really had a feeling. I really did. I think conventional wisdom says go Commanders. Bears haven't really put it together yet. Commanders are looking decent. Bills been a really good running back for them, as I talked about earlier. But I went Bears. After the bye week, I just got a feeling they're going to pop out of this bye week and maybe start putting things together a little bit. I don't think they're going to be great yet, but I think this will be a start for them to turn it around. Ben Johnson gets more time, start putting the offense and how he wants to see it. So I got Bears.
Yeah, this one was really tough. I wanted to go Bears. I mean, they're one of my teams, and yeah, off the bye week, but I just couldn't do it. Like, there's just no consistency from Caleb Williams. There's no consistency from this Bears team yet. I think everything's moving along. I think Ben Johnson's going to be good for this team, but it hasn't been consistent yet. So I wasn't feeling ballsy enough to make that pick, and I went Commanders here.
All right. I don't mind that. We end with two differences. That's not off too far off from how we normally are. If we're hitting four,
Yeah, it
five,
was just weird
six.
the
Yeah.
way the order of it.
Yes, and I kind of like it's the Sunday night game and the second Monday night game. So that's pretty exciting. Get to watch without, because let me tell you, for the audience here, I I really zone into the games that we pick different as well. Like I
But yeah,
really watch
yeah.
those a little bit extra because I want to win. I want to win. But yeah, with that, that brings us to the end of our return episode for the NFL after a week off. We appreciate you all for tuning in as always. Please like, subscribe, comment, let us know what you think, and we'll be back with you again next week.
Later, PCC.